write all of these songs for y'all for 30 years. I'm just trying to relax in the blessing, you know what I'm saying? I don't take this for granted, man. I am very thankful for the gift God has given me, man. And for y'all to fight for me all these years, keeping my shit alive, man. Fuck that! Stupid ass shit! I write all of these songs for y'all for 30 years.
Rocket man, 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 put your cups up, rocket man, rocket man, light the blind up, rocket man, rocket man, rocket man, rocket man, man, I hope they cop drop.
Wait a minute, can you hear it on that one? Alright, I'm gonna go get the other one. You probably gotta plug it in there because I can see the screen, but it's not coming through the other one. Hey y'all, just give me a minute. I don't know. I can see the numbers. Go ahead. I'm just gonna get my other thing.
Moving, I hope they watch it. If they refuse it, I think losing and think about the rocket. My life confused and feel like they using me cause I got it. Raised by the damn shame. I never thought of God. Fuck them flowers, they didn't put my flowers in the garbage. Putting out rappers for me and they ain't speaking honest. On top of that, when shit be real, they don't speak about it. Baby, hold my eyes, tell my nigga go and start your rhyme. He's really out they mind, it's another time. This super fucking grown man is granted 35. He got his time, now he no longer wants for a sign. Cause them niggas ain't sent him nothing since he got a sign. All the stuff, you ain't tired of seeing your mama crying. Let's keep it real, you ain't tired of seeing your partner's time. Leave all that jealous out the window, we can all win. Everybody can't be the star, you gotta fall in. Love the ones you really love, cause they leave fast. I think about a rocket ship when the G's pass. Easy. It ain't never been for my gutter friends. And God forgive every sin, so they must keep struggling. Shit, we been doing that shit since the alphabet. Hustling. Shit, all that shit that come from daddy, them rocket man. This song gonna put you in your feelings if you look at Quake and take on them pictures as a little nigga. Can I fin again? Would you agree with me? This world too damn feminine. If he was broke, would he still be your friend again? Yeah, that's the question you asked. Is that woman only for you with a six in the ass? They throwing a Rico out like it's a weed shop. Taking niggas raps trying to make them leave for. Last night I prayed for Brittany Griner. I was in my fifth cause USA just sit brush her house another beer. 30 lottery tickets, man, I'm trying to hit the beer. Feel it in my heart, God bless me, I'm a real. So this one's for the chill. Broken ain't hopeless, valley go nowhere. Wishing boots to boo with they dad so they can go there. Man like me who chose my life, they got nowhere. These boots and shoes can't be fitted. Fit your pal, let's know the game, cause the pain you get to. Your family will steal from you for your bitch move. Long live, take off. This world makes me wanna fly away now. Rocket man, I need the whole world to say this shit with me. Let's go. I got all these chains on me like a rocket man. Put your cups up. Rocket man, rocket man, rocket man, rocket man, rocket man. Rocket man,
I've been through so much in my life, could make the preacher cry. So many bricks up in the bag, could get the preacher high. It's for my niggas caught a charge and went to court today. They gave him 42, 20 came up short today. Kids killing kids, damn, 12 years old. And Bill just did 11, 12 years old. My little nigga from the block, he just did a dub. He hit me up for a verse, I had to show love. I lost $1 million on the road, that made my heart hurt. Ain't nothing lazy about me, nigga. I made that hard work. I see my nigga laying stiff and I ain't shed a chill. Done lost 12 of my partners in a half a year. The other day I lost my nigga plus my any shit. Them niggas Kill my nigga robbing for a half a brick. Woke up that morning, fucking changed by some choppers, nigga. We toast this champagne while they laying with doctors, nigga. This ain't a movie, dog. No, we ain't actors, nigga. Damn right, I got it on. Killing rappers, pray for the babies. World's going crazy, too. Bricks about 80, yo. Plug feet shady. Miss my mama, yeah. My sweet Sadie, yeah. Keep them angels over your bed. Too many lost, too many boss fighting, too many demons fighting. Red diamond close, brains hit pause, nigga. Stepping into yours, nigga. Wanna go get it, nigga. Yours, nigga. Another homicide, nigga. Another mama cried, nigga. Another uncle died, nigga. Money for the war, but can't feed the poor. Might move to South Florida, them bricks watching the shore. Yeah, no one built the art. Well, I'm about to build a rocket ship. Get the fuck up out of here. Go and hang with pockets. Plus, I heard that they know ops up there. Talk that shit. And they gon' give me my props up there. Talk that shit. Might just sip a couple drops up there. Talk that shit. Might just own a few blocks up there. Talk that shit. Hey, man. Long live take off.
This world makes me want to fly away now. Hey, man. I need the whole world to stop that shit with me. I got Rocket man, put your cups up. Long live Rocket man. Rocket man. Rocket man. Rocket man. Rocket man. Rocket man, though ain't really strong, but it's good for right now, cause it's a drought. So I'ma get this brick and flip it right quick and see how it play out. I was at my homeboy grill, so when no food back at the house. And you raps can't pay no bills, so I pushed that move and made it out. Just fell out with my homie right now, it's all I'm thinking about. He spent something for me, feel like he deserve more than he got. Hate to fall out with my dog, cause now I gotta put you down. Thank God I'm rich, you still real, that when it turned you to a clown. Sometimes I feel more lost sitting in the spot that I was found. Burning up shit round town, oh yeah. Coughing on licks with my mouth, oh yeah. Smoking on shit out of mouth, oh yeah. Man, how about you ring your niggas up at? You think on who we finna be? I'm thinking about how we finna eat. It's like I'm running out of peace. These fucked up thoughts don't help me sleep. I think about who I am today and all the dudes I had to pay. I'm wondering why them crackers coming and running far the fuck away. I'm wondering if God hear me mumbling and what my heart been trying to say. I almost lost my faith in faith. Just yearning for grace. And try to if I get the help, I said, bet you so that I ain't never know all of this whack shit come with this money. I just want to show at the end of the rap shit, I can't be pro it. I been wanting to go right back on the fucking 1800. When I was on the stroll, and ain't nobody asking me for nothing. This shit here got family switching up on me, my niggas clicking up on me, and new people treating me like a brother. This shit here got niggas who used to ride for me, bitching about my money, my baby mama beefing with each other. This shit here got family switching up on me, my niggas clicking up on me, and new people treating me like a brother. This shit here got niggas who used to ride for me, bitching about my money, my baby mama beefing with each other. I'm a Rocket man. This world makes me wanna fly away now on a Rocket man. I got all this betrayal in my heart. You know we mafioso from the start. What happened? How we gon' rise together? Oh, you fall apart, my nigga. This world makes me wanna fly away now on a Rocket man. I got all this pain on me. I'm gonna love this. You're black and you're beautiful, black and you're beautiful. Your skin. God did something when he made a black woman. I want you to know you're black and you're beautiful. Yeah. I want you to know you're black and you're beautiful. Never let no one have you stressing, baby. You black as ever, that's a blessing, baby. If he don't love you, it's no pressure, baby. Black women learn to love themselves. It's your essence, baby. I see your soul through your necklace, baby. Love it when you smile, cause your nose so sexy, baby. I like to see a black king with a black queen. If you got a white cat, I feel you mad black. One shot for God for making women with slim shit. Hey. With the fat back. Hey. Like my back's black. Hey. Used to be hard, now accomplishments you can grab that. You independently lead, that's up you laugh at. And I want you to know, girl, you are baby, black woman is everything. You are your smile is everything. You are your love is special. You what? Black and you're beautiful. Black and you're beautiful. Yeah. I want you to know you're black and you're beautiful. I want you to know, girl, your skin is your skin. Your love is your love. Nah, 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 nah. The baby is the sweeter the juice. Black and the berry is the sweeter the juice. They say black and the berry is the sweeter the juice. Black and the blue. Black and the berry is the sweeter. Nah, 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 nah. Black women, I hope you listen and you are the world. Don't wanna see you dressed in red, just wanna see you play. If you in school, I wanna see you complete all your class. Cause you gon' see yourself. Whites gon' have advance. It make me smile seeing young black love. PDG and Haley made me go and hug my girl, say I love you. This for the black people up in the struggle and the black people with money feeling like black is nothing. I love to see a black kid who full of hustle. You're beautiful. I love to see a black kid who's smart as hell. You're beautiful. I love to see a black teacher who hates the devil. Bring your wife, your deacon, boat, and your choir. Black and you're beautiful. Black and you're beautiful. I want you to know you're black and you're beautiful. I want you to know, girl, your skin is your skin. Your love is your love. Nah, 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 nah. Black and the berry is the sweeter the juice. Black and you're beautiful. Black and the berry is the sweeter the juice. Black and you're beautiful. Black and the berry is the sweeter the juice. Black and you're beautiful. Black and the berry is the sweeter the juice. Nah, 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 nah. You are, you are, you are, not like black or you are like you're beautiful. I'm not all the time. So nobody. Little nigga with a big bill. My only wish is to get rich and stay a real nigga. Cause I knew it wasn't too many real niggas. Ain't give it to me, I ain't got. So the size of my body ain't the size of my pocket. These niggas tried to stop. Their music was hot got. They thought it was music, but I had written and fired. I'm a rock. My people dying, I'm seeing signs. I thought about trying to hit plays under that old law. No cracking under pressure. Smoking pressure hands itching, this shit coming in. Hope this shit coming in, don't make me lose a friend. I lost a friend and it's fucked up, we can't talk again. That nigga hate me with a passion, he can't walk again. No, I'm not. All the time, nigga. Be with me, God. No cracking under pressure at all. I'm a gangster. Turn business, man. Had to call my mind with money. 9 times out of 10, a nigga ain't a honey. You spin, but in the end, you will see he ain't a honey. These niggas ain't giving 50, but now they asking for a honey. You won't whack them for some money. Like that's a honey. In Angola, nigga couldn't send me a honey. Mama, in your eyesight, you couldn't give her a honey. So this fall, shit.
on the StreamYard. Oh, I can see the chat now. Hey, Shin, hey, Thelma. StreamYard, y'all need to reimburse people. Like, your platform has been messed up since last week. Like, this is getting annoying. It really is. Got me thinking that it's my internet. I'm all unplugging stuff, restarting my uh the modem and all that. It ain't it's on StreamYard. You can hear me? Alright. Yeah, it's StreamYard. Got me thinking that the internet cut off. Like, no, it's StreamYard. Because if y'all remember the other day, remember I said when I don't know if y'all was, I think Shannon, I think you was in here when I said that when Fulton Candy said something about they had their system was hacked and the people was asking for ransom money or something and said that they was going to expose people's personal court information and stuff like that. And Fulton County they didn't give the ransom. Well, I think it was 4 days after because I know it was last week. It was like I guess they claim it was like a slight cyber attack or whatever. So it's affecting StreamYard because people that go live from StreamYard to Facebook, Twitch, and I think it was Twitter. They had like a thing that they had on the screen on the menu saying that it was like a cyber thing or something. Like what the heck do Fulton County cyber attack got to do with StreamYard? But I'm like, I guess because people be using Zooms and maybe some of the people be using StreamYard um to use either they Zoom or to I think they got a Zoom. Oh, and the webinars. And the webinars is just like Zoom or the Google Meets. No, I got it. I can see it now. The chat is up here now. I can see it. The whole thing just cut right off. Like if y'all gonna do that, y'all need to be reimbursing people. Like seriously. That's why last month I kept leaving my live on the whole time that I was at therapy and when I was at the Mass Jig and tell me I think you probably remember when that day I think I was live for like 16 hours and I just kept leaving my StreamYard on because they wouldn't reimburse me for them 2 weeks that the StreamYard was messed up and wouldn't let me go in it and I thought it was YouTube that strike me or something and it wasn't YouTube. So that's why I kept burning out all of them hours because I was trying to be smart because they kept trying to tell me I couldn't get they couldn't reimburse me. I don't know. I think StreamYard got a lot of users now, and it's so many that they're not able um to cover the amount of users and everybody going live from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. What was the other one? And my daughter told me today that you can go live from StreamYard. There's another platform, but it's like 6 of them. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why do StreamYard even why do they collab with all these people instead of for just making their own platform? Like where people can get have members only the super chats because with StreamYard you can even see your super chats and all of that stuff when you go live on StreamYard now. So they might as well make their own platform instead of um doing business with YouTube and everybody else, because every platform uses their platform. People don't really like to go live on YouTube, straight through YouTube. You can't barely see the comments. You get all of these trolls that come from out of nowhere. I told you I can see it. And let me see if I can pull up these documents, because it erased all of my stuff that was in the on my brand. All of my stuff that I had stored. It's crazy, man. All the transcripts earlier that it took me hours to download. Crazy, yeah. Oh boy. Let's see. No, I'm talking about the. You can hear me, Maya. You can hear me. I know. I hear you talking to the camera. I'm like, why are you talking to there? Wait a minute. I'm about to see right now. I just want the your Uncle Robert's sentencing papers, the ones that I downloaded earlier. This is over 673. If they let me lose all this stuff, I'm gonna pull my locks out. If they tell me I can't get my stuff, I'm going to pull my locks out of my root. Oh, it's messing up my uh, wait. Wait a minute. Wait, I think I got something. Why is it doing that though? See, this is probably y'all too. This is why I say y'all use your stuff. Stop touching my stuff. It's never to think it's y'all now. It's crazy, man. We talking about 678 pages of receipts, transcripts, court documents. Like, please don't tell me that I can't get this stuff back. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's, oh, God. 12, 8, 8, 7. Thelma, did you ever find out anything about the, Faith Rogers' mom having to do a deposition regarding, Faith Rogers claiming, Robert gave her herpes? Because, um, I know the brothers was talking about it earlier, and I was live, but I felt nothing. And when I went back to spitting fires, it was on her community wall, but she just looked like she was retyping something that somebody else, I guess, posted, and she like added her little extra words in her post. But other than that, I didn't see anything. Please close my screen door. The wind is blowing. Okay, 12. Oh, I think. Oh, thank you, Lord. I was about to literally pull my locks out of my roots of my scalp. Okay, let's see, why is it going? Why the number so high? It's just going down at least. Uh, I gotta hurry up and store this stuff somewhere, because I got a feeling that that's what's gonna happen to me. just like 2 years ago when I lost everything and I had to get everything back. I got a feeling that that's what's gonna happen. And if I don't got nowhere to store this stuff, I'm gonna lose everything. If it wasn't for Apple, I wouldn't have probably been able to retrieve a lot of stuff with the iCloud. 5 years worth of receipts and whew, I think I'm probably better off if I just go get like a hard drive and just put everything on there. But when I need to get the stuff off, it's the problem. And I got the whole documentary that I did. I'm glad I got this stored on some whole another device. Cause I got a feeling that that's what's gonna wind up happening. Keep messing with this stupid streamer, I'm gonna lose everything. I don't know. I think it's all the high numbers. I don't think it's the whole sentence in Memo. I'm going through it real fast though. See, it's like all pages 14, 13, 12. I don't see like pages 5, 6, 7. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You right, my mom. It's coming. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. 5, 6, 7, 9. So I'm missing 8, 4, 3. Okay, it's 11. I'm sorry, my mom. They coming in. 11, 12. Wait a minute. I think I'm missing like page 4, 2. It's going back up to the high numbers again. 15. Yeah. 16. Yeah. I'm gonna just use this. It's okay. 18. Yeah. What's this? Oh, that's the shit. Alright, I'm gonna just use what I got. You use what you got to get what you want. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What you at work? Yeah, I didn't know if y'all heard of the YouTube streets because everybody is usually when something happens like that, like you will hear. Well, I don't really watch everybody channel like that. And plus, when I get off YouTube, I be so happy to take care of things with my household and kids and my grandkids. So my free time only be when I be on YouTube. And y'all see now, I be traveling to the Mass Jig and therapy with y'all on the StreamYard. So I don't be getting a chance to really tune into other people's lives like that once I get off. Man, I just thought that something big like that, a lot more people would have been speaking on it. Because I did find an article that I was telling y'all about. Let me see if I can. From Atlanta Star, and he posted an article about Robert speaking on Don Russell, and Robert saying, I ain't got nothing to do with no bomb gun threat. I was in jail, and if y'all need me to even let whoever know, no, he was not my manager, and I had nothing to do with his actions and what he did. I'm like, Robert crazy. He like, I'm tired of this. Y'all gonna stop putting me in the middle of other people's stuff and tying my names. I'm like, here. That's why I say shout out to all my loyal supporters and subscribers because they kind of like keep me in the loop far as things that's um surrounding Robert's case or any other uh black uh or black men that's being wrongfully convicted or cases that I talk about and maybe I might have missed out on somebody live and they'll send it to me. But other than that, yeah, I stay far away from the drama. And you know this month is Ramadan, so I definitely nowhere near tuned into nobody's drama. There's enough drama going on in the world with me just losing my girlfriend, not even two strong whole weeks. Mm-mm. There's enough drama going on. People losing their life every other day. Kids is getting unalive for just going to school. So I know darn well I ain't got time to tune into no unnecessary drama. Hell no. I got it, my mom. Thank you. Damn sure. I got a great grand. Uh, Wait a minute. What did it say? Oh, they put Robert's old mansion, yo, is up is listed up for $3.5 million. The mansion owned by Elaine Isley. Yup, yup. Oh, I didn't know that they purchased the home for $587,000 back in 2013, and the property has been in foreclosure. The home had been empty for 3 years. Keller Williams. It had some issues like the basement had flooding due to a failed pump. Walking adds that the Isley spent considerable money on renovation. Despite the home's association with the I Believe I Can Fly singer, it has good vibes. Get out of here, despite the home. What did I just read? Despite the home's association with, like, are you serious? The place is home to some of the biggest names around, including Grammy winners, athletes, politicians. Rudolph Isley and the Isley brothers are legends in themselves. Okay, I want to see how much the property is. And in-law suite, kitchenette. So what? Okay. Oh wow. So they got it up for three. Oh, I didn't know that was a 12-car garage. Wow, I didn't know that. So are they selling it and the street is private? The property offers so much privacy. So that was a oh okay. So the house is up for $3.5 million. It's a nice mansion though. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, thank you, sis. Appreciate it. Just keeping my prayers, for her children because like them kids never thought they was gonna lose their mother, and especially the way they lost her. It's ooh, I still feel like some days that like it's a dream, but unfortunately it's not. And her youngest 8-year-old, they didn't tell her yet. And I was telling her mom like three or 4 days ago. I think that she might have resentment against them if you know if they don't tell her. But that's her granddaughter. I can't. But she said she think that with her granddaughter in school and a lot of good things going, she thinks she's about to get her menstrual. She'll be 9, I think, in 3 weeks. But I'm like, I think she should know that her mom is going. But like I said, I don't have no say so over that. Her grandma feels like this is not the right time, and when she's ready to tell her, she's gonna tell her. But she feel like her granddaughter is gonna completely lose it. Crazy, man. And they about to be done with school in a few months, so her grandma feel like she was telling me she rather her be out of school so it don't mess up her last little a few months in school. And that way, if they gotta get a therapy and stuff throughout the summer before the new school year comes in September, once her grandma feels like she's ready to tell her. But I just feel like I've seen a lot of different situations where people have kept secrets back from children when they were young. But as they got older, and they find out when they get older that their family didn't tell them about their mom or their dad, or they have like resentment against their family members. Like, why you didn't tell me? Why would you let me not know and all that? But like I said, her grandma, she knows what's best for her granddaughter. Yeah, she like they when we I don't even know how they did the funeral with her not because um Christina's youngest daughter, she's so like that like how my girls is my hip. That's how her youngest daughter is, and her son. But her daughter is like her hip. But she know that her mom used to go to a lot of them seminars. We used to go to a lot of the like the seminar things. So her mom told me they got her thinking something like I think one of the seminars that she went away for one of the dental seminars because my girlfriend just got her dental her degree. I think it'll be almost a year in July. So she just started working at this new dental office. The other one she was there for like 10 years. So she does a lot of like traveling where she'll get a call from her boss and they'll have to travel here or there. So that's what they have um Kaylee thinking that that's what's going on. And you know what's really, really sad? This is what's crazy. Her my girlfriend mom told me last Easter was the Sunday. So whatever day they do the Good Friday thing, I think that was isn't Good Friday right before Easter, I think. Well, Good Friday, my girlfriend mom was going to I guess her church to get the I forget I hate when I forget the name of them things because my grandma used to always go to the church and get them. They're supposed to be like good luck or something, them things. Well, the day that my girlfriend mom was going to get them things that they say is good luck, it looked like a long piece of a like of a I can't explain it, but May didn't go to school the day before that because I think she had an appointment or something. And why did she tell her grandma when she woke up that morning that she had a dream that somebody came and kidnapped all of them? Said like I guess somebody came in the house and blindfolded her grandma, my girlfriend, her brothers, the dog, and made them go to their house and kidnapped them from the grandma house. And she just like was saying stuff that the man put blindfolds on them, blindfolds on the dog. But the real serious thing about it is, I said to my girlfriend, Mom, you think God is revealing to her that her mom is murdered? But not in the way that it actually happened? Because why would she dream of somebody coming in her grandma's house and the dream was about that the man was putting blindfolds and all that and took all of them away, kidnapped them. and just left the boys and the dog. But her mom, her grandma, and her mom's younger sister. When I tell you that my girlfriend mom was crying so hard that day, I'm like, I don't. It seemed like to me like God is like giving her signs or something like that. That was just too crazy to me. Like that her mom is really gone, and she woke up and told her grandma she had a dream that they all got kidnapped, and she was like laughing with it, like, and he put blindfolds on the dog and us. But the part that's hurting my girlfriend's mom is her daughter's really gone. And that's why I'm just like praying for them every time I make my salat. I just like go in extra harder because I just pray that my girlfriend mom don't get sick. I really do. She's 68 years old. Now she's have to raise all her grandkids. Like I said, I'm gonna be there for her as best as I can. I'm gonna try to get the boys not next weekend, but the weekend after that, and try as best as I can to do the every other or try to work with her mom as best as possible. Crazy man. Oh boy. Wow. And he's 18 and it happened when he was 8. See, that's what I was saying to my girlfriend mom. That's why I really think she need to know because I'm like, I don't want, because it looks like to me that her grandma is literally going to try to drag this out. And I think why she really worried too is because, like I said, she don't want her to go into like a depression and I get all of that. Trust me, I get it. And I think that her grandma is scared that if she see her granddaughter going through all of that, it might make her go into a more serious. She's already going through it. Um, but I'm just scared that keeping it away from her. And then another thing I'm scared of, I don't want nobody else to say something because remember, it was on the news. Remember, it's still a trial that's going to be happening. And I can't wait until this trial. Oh, when I tell you I'm going to be front row every day. Ooh, but that's another thing. Like she go to school, and I'm just hoping that they already talked to the teachers and they already on board to know not to, I'm talking about the kids and or their parents or I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last long with her being able not to say nothing. That's what I said, Thurman. But Grant's grandma, my girlfriend mom told me no, they got the school on board, they got the teachers on board. And I'm like, I ain't talking about the teachers and that. I'm talking about them kids, them 9, 10, 11 year olds. It's all over the news in Philadelphia. That's what I'm talking about. Or when she at recess, or when she go to after school program, or when she go to her dance classes. That's different children from the kids at the school. Only a few kids from the school that go to the dancing. Somebody might walk up to her one day. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. That type of thing. Even they have a child advocacy that the detectives already assigned um, to the boys. The boys is scaring me so much because you got to remember they have to walk around their little sister and not slip up and say nothing. They have to walk around their little sister with smiling faces and don't. They can't even grieve right because they're staying at their grandma's for right now until we get my finish get my girlfriend house in order. But her sister is coming up here from North Carolina, so I think all of that should be done soon. The boys don't want to stay in their house, and then to me that's not going to last long because eventually she gonna be saying, "Why would you go back home?" She gonna want to go back to her home, her room. See what I'm saying? She a girl, her personal stuff and all of that. The boys, they don't want to go back to the house at all. Then to me, she gonna start noticing why they acting funny, and they're not able to grieve properly because they have to act in front of their sister like everything's fine, smiling, cheesing, and all of that. Yes, they are. What you recall said in that thing we watched the other day? It said kids, uh, it said kids don't, you don't, kids don't. She said kids don't learn from us teaching them that they learn from what they see, and eventually, to me, she's gonna start noticing. And then I think it ain't fair too for the boys because they're 14 and 12, and they can't properly grieve. That's what I'm saying. And you said it happened when he was 8. Let me ask you a question, because that's crazy. That's exactly how old Lele is. Now, you said it happened when he was 8 years old, so he was getting ready to go to the ninth grade. So he's getting ready to go to high school, like right how Lele is. Um, did he start having more problems when he got to high school, or problems start occurring more once he was got to the 12th grade and about to graduate? And, her sisters, her mom, they all telling me they got it under control. I had 3 days full of over 8 to 12 hours of long conversations at her mom's house. And like I said, I'm the type of person I won't step outside of my boundaries, even though this was one of my close girlfriends. We knew each other since we was 7 years old, but I don't do that. Her family comes way before me. She would feel different if she was here to speak, but because she wasn't that close with her sisters and them. But since she passed away, they're they're trying and they have regrets that they didn't make up with their sister. Of course, they didn't think that like this was gonna happen, but I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and letting them have their role as sisters. But if my girlfriend was here right now, she would be like, no, you're before them. But I don't want them to feel that way because again, they going through it that they lost their sister. They going through it that they didn't work out their differences and didn't know something like this was going to happen. And that's why they say love on your family members and try to um any little um simple disagreements or y'all not talking, try to work it out because you never know. You never know. It's when to the point that when they were planning the funeral and everything, like I had to give them all type of information. I had to give them her 12th grade um and ninth grade yearbooks. All that stuff was in my basement. Not even at her mom's house. This how close we've been all our lives. And my oldest daughter got which is my other best friend. We knew each other since we was 1. So we all been around each other through daycare, elementary, middle school, high school, on. But like I said, I'm stepping back. I'm not overstepping my boundaries. That's her blood sisters. I know if she was here, she would be really mad. She would want her kids to be at their own home. A lot of different things that's going on that she would never approve of. But like I said, it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. Wow. So he was already struggling as your sister was when she got diagnosed. So she passed away. Wow. It's and then I don't know if you were watching my page um when my cousin Tiffany died 2 days before Mother's Day. Uh, not last year, the year before that. And my uncle Vince died Valentine's Day, and my his father died the year before that Valentine. Like when I say since 2018, I literally lost 9 family members back to back to back to back. But my cousin Tiffany was another big shock for me because she's only 38 years old and she left a 2 year old. Maddie was, I think Maddie was 7. Lil Jerry was 18 and Jerome was 13. But this being my blood cousin, and all of a sudden, her husband's, her new husband, the youngest kid's father, his sisters and mom and them, like, jumped in, like, took my little cousins and all of our family, had our hands out to bring them into our homes. And because, like I said, my little cousin was 2 when my cousin passed. So, like, she don't really know like that. Like, we continue to show her pictures and things of that nature, but she was like really, and she was a mommy's girl. That's the crazy part about it. Like, and she breastfed and all that. So for a whole 2 years of her life, all she had was my cousin. She was a stay-at-home mom, and then she passed. But I couldn't believe how he let his mom and all of them just take them in and like didn't let my family have a say so. And if my cousin was here, she would snap. But he claimed that they made arrangements if anything ever happened. That was her husband. She married this young boy. Oh, crazy man. So I only would be seeing my little cousins like that, and I worry for my oldest, the oldest boy, little Jerry, because people be telling me he be smoking weed now, but he's still in college. But I know he going through it, and her younger son and Maddie, because they was old enough to know. And I just feel like when stuff like that happens to me, you're supposed to keep the children around family. Like, you don't take them around family that they don't know like that. Or when their mom was here, she didn't take them around them like that. When you get married and you make these arrangements with your significant other and something happens to you, your family has no say so. Just like we didn't want to pull the plug. And he had the last say so. We felt like give it a couple more days. We felt like we thought she might was going to progress because she was progressing better, and um, but he said that they had conversations that if anything ever happened, that she don't want to be ever laying in the hospital with tubes, or uh she wanted her ashes to be spread all over all the countries that they went to. So they had to go to Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Hawaii, and spread all her no, spread some of them there, and then the remaining ones he split amongst the children. Like I can't even tell you if this stuff was really true that him and my cousin agreed on it. She ain't know nothing about she was going to pass away. But I'm pretty sure couples do have these hard conversations. But it's just like to exit her family out, to her not wanting if something was to happen to her, the girls to come with us, her cousins. And the saddest thing of it all is the reason why my little cousin Jerry, the 18-year-old, went and stayed in school is because the night of my cousin's funeral, he caught his stepdad, my cousin's husband, in the house having sex with some woman. The same night of my cousin's funeral. And some of my family members was like, oh, Tiffany wouldn't be mad. She wouldn't want him to just be, don't have nothing and just, but the night of her funeral, it ain't even been a month. And my little cousin literally came in the crib and seen his stepdad having sex with some woman. So he ran a state at the dorm at the college and he wanted to move out. He had to respect it. Like that wasn't cool. Like it ain't even been a month. Maybe my cousin don't want you to be lonely or none of that, but damn, you thinking about having sex with another woman that fast? And I ain't gonna lie, they had a little marriage of a like a freaky type of marriage, threesomes and all that crazy stuff. So I don't know, but it's just super sad because I feel like my little cousins is suffering. We can't have no say so because that's her husband, that's his family, and me and my family gotta just sit back and can't even go pick him up, can't none of that. Like he got it at the school where as though the school can't relieve them to nobody unless it's him, his mom. My cousin wouldn't have never for that. For them not to be around her side of the family. And my whole family blaming him for her death. And that's another issue. Just crazy. So I'm looking at my girlfriend, this situation with her daughter and her sons. And like I said, I'm letting her sisters and them um, you know, um do what they have to do. I don't wanna step in out of my boundaries. But I feel like what happened with me and my family with my cousin Tiffany, I see the same thing happening with my girlfriend. And I feel like the kids don't really, they haven't really been around their aunts like that because their mom didn't get along with her sisters. So the kids gotta listen to what their aunts tell them and all of this. Oh, you staying here. Oh, this is what you're wearing today. Oh, like, oh, they're not used to that. They're not used to this. Cause it's like, what can I do? And it's sad because I was just telling my daughter's godmom, I got a feeling that they gonna try to when school ends, I think they're gonna try to get up and move, and then that way none of us can see the kids, none of us can be able to just go pick them up and watch, watch, because you know how family is. They just sit back waiting on the insurance money and all that stuff. Yep. And because my girlfriend wasn't married, next to kin would be the children, but they're too young, and they claiming that the kids need this, they need that. My girlfriend had all of their clothes stocked. They ain't need for nothing, but they're claiming they need all these things. All I can do is pray on it. I have to just step back. There's nothing I can do. Nothing. Nothing. Because if it was up to me, I would have already been having like, and me and her grandma could have got split custody. I would have never took her away from her family. I would always let them see her whenever her grandma wanted to see her. But I know in my heart, my girlfriend would have wanted that. That was her baby girl. She definitely wouldn't have wanted her sisters to be taking over guardianship, but it's nothing I can do. And plan, when you don't write wills and prepaid funerals, this is the stuff that you run into, and it's the sad part. And I understand we didn't know this was going to happen, but this is why they say to write your stuff out, and this is why they have like accidental insurance and stuff. Like when people, like a person get hit by a car or accidents, because you just never know. And what I learned in the last 10 years of my life, and losing all these family members I lost, and the most hurtful ones was my father, and my little brother, and I didn't go through that with them, but my other family members, and watching my other family members how they moved with other family members that we lost. You literally have family members that won't even be talking on earth. As soon as a family member leave, everybody's worrying about their belongings in their house, who gonna get the cars, who gonna get there. I can't deal with it. Can't can't deal with it. It's so trifling to me. Like half of y'all wouldn't even stop to visit this person when they were here. But when they leave, it's like you feel like you entitled. You feel like um you the one making the um making all the plans, and with the funeral. I just step back. When I say I ain't get involved at all whatsoever. Nope. Once I see how they was all, oh no, this, I just told her mom, listen, I got the yearbooks, I got all of her baby pictures, and all. I'm just going to pass everything off. I know for a fact she will want these things in the obituary. Y'all do yours. But it's nothing you can do but just pray and hope that the situation get better for all parties. But I just think that the kids should be the number one priorities. Yeah, we have grandparent rights. Yep, and I was cool with him when my cousin, like after like 3 years that they was married, because they had two children during their marriage. But her first husband is my oldest two little cousins. She was married to Bobby, and we like that was like my brother. So I felt the type of way when my cousin he had went to jail, and he had got her hair salon, and he set her up real good, knowing that he had to turn himself into the feds. And it wasn't even like 3 years, and she was creeping with this little young boy. I didn't even know how old he really was until my cousin passed away. And my cousin Kareem was like, "Oh, you didn't know that Matt is 30?" I'm like, "What?" So when my cousin was when she married him, he had to be 30, 36, 36, he had to be like 20. Yeah. When my cousin passed away at 39 years old, I didn't even know he was that young. So, and I'm like, oh, this is why he's worried about another female the night of his wife's funeral. And like I said, they had their little, how they ran their marriage, and the little threesome things and all of that. And I know for a fact, like my cousin wasn't coerced or none of that. This is the lifestyle she gave her husband. But now it all made sense once I found out how old he was. But see, the only problem with that is my daughter's godmom told me that I wouldn't be. Um, are you talking about my girlfriend that just got unalived, or you talking about my cousin Tiffany children? Because if you talking about my girlfriend that just passed away, I would be try like it's gonna be hard because I'm not kin to them, and if the grandma and the sisters want to say, um, fight me back and say no, it's I was told that I'm not gonna win that because I don't have nobody on her side that adult that can say, yeah, she's like family, yeah, she's been around us since da da da, and I know sure her sister's not gonna do it because they know that the kids would say we rather go with our jazz. So on my cousin, I was told I can't fight that either. Now I can get uh that me and my cousins we can apply for um I think it's like a relative rights, but it's not grandparent rights because of course I'm their cousin. But my cousin Karima told me it was something like we could request for by us being on my cousin's side of the family. What did she call it? I know it wasn't grandparents' rights. It was something like something to the effect of we my cousins we on her side and as their mother's family we can request visitation. See, we don't have a problem with my little cousin Jerry. He about to be 19. See whatever what he got he driving and all that. My cousin set him up with a truck, all that. So um I see him whenever he's on break from school and all of that. And far as my cousin in law Bobby, her first husband, that's my other little cousin's dad. I can see him whenever I want. Is the girls. Yeah, but my cousin Tiffany, yeah, her mom Dawn, everywhere she goes, she has to be transported by the ambulance people. My cousin Dawn is paralyzed from the waist down, so she can't physically deal with her grandkids in that manner at all. All she can do is if we bring them for her to see them and stuff like that. But yeah, she can't do nothing. Like everywhere she goes to doctors, she has to be transported in that ambulance thing. And that's another thing. Her only girl, her only child. Dawn ain't seen her grandkids since, but she see little Jerry though. That's why I said the boys is cool because little Jerry's in college and Bobby's son, my little cousin, he's with Bobby in Ohio. So it's just the girls. That was just the girls. And over here in Philadelphia, you can literally get um you go and fill the paperwork out for his grandparents' rights, and literally you can get visitation like 5 days. They don't play over here in grandparents' rights at all. And if like you live in another state, you just gotta pay. I think it's 37.50 or 78.50. It's like two different prices. If you live in another state and you come into Philadelphia to file the paperwork, you just gotta pay that money. They send you out the court date and they start you out with visitation. And then if you want like every weekend or every other weekend, yeah, they don't play in Philadelphia about grandparents' rights at all. Because my stepdaughter, my granddaughter who got the baby, my great grand, that's what I was going through all last year with her mom. And her youngest two, her mom took them from her last year. So I don't know if you remember, but like six months ago, that's when I was going through all of that stuff with my granddaughter, and then she wound up getting pregnant again, and a great granddaughter. But yeah, that's what her mom is going through now, trying to fight to get her the youngest two back from her mom. And where she messed up at was over here in Philadelphia. They love to keep the kids with their biological mother. I mean, they will do everything in their power to keep the children with their biological parents. But my stepdaughter thought her mom was joking and she missed two court dates. And the judge automatically gave her mom custody. Her mom got a PFA on her, so to make it weird as though she definitely can't come around the kids because since her mom got the PFA, she can't go nowhere near her mom. So if she see her mom out with the kids, she can't go approach her mom. It's a sad thing, man. These kids and custody stuff. Man, I'm glad I never had to deal with that with my kids, the other side or my side. But my granddaughter will be 18 this year, so I'm trying to continue to push her to finish homeschool. I set up the whole homeschool for her. They delivered the computer, but you know how 17-year-olds is that wasn't ready to really have no kid. But she loves the ground her baby walks on, but she still is very, very immature. And the daddy, he's in Florida college, trying to go to the NFL. Scouts looking at him. Yeah, he trying to put his school. He got a 3.0 average. I think a three. He got good grades and everything. But the last conversations that I had with him, like I said, him and my granddaughter wasn't no couple, none of that. These little kids had a Airbnb party and about four, one, two, three, four, five. All of them got pregnant. It's like they planned it, in my opinion. But yeah, they all laid down with these little boys, no condom, one night, one Airbnb party. So I don't know if you remember when I told you we first found out she was staying with her dad because I was going through all that stuff with her mom the first time. She was ripping and running and got pregnant, and her mom made her have an abortion. And I'm like, she needs to be on birth control. This is letting us know she can get pregnant. You getting her abortion, that don't mean nothing. You just want to get pregnant again. And damn if I wasn't right, but this time she was up under her dad, and he didn't notice all the way to 7 months that she was pregnant. So when we found out, she was 7 months. She had the baby early at 8 months. And I think she made sure that she hid it so well that her mom couldn't make her have an abortion. So by the time we found out, there wasn't no abortion popping off. But the sad part was when I first met him and his mom, he wanted a blood test. And rightfully so. He dealt with her one night. So he felt like he knew he had used no condom, but I guess he felt like if I slept with her that fast one night, I know for sure that's my baby. But when my great granddaughter came out, Puerto Rican, black, Haitian, and uh the grandmom is his mom's mom is white. My granddaughter looked just like them, hair, I mean everything. She looked nothing like her mom's side at all. She got everything though. She got so many mixtures in her, like you can just see it all. And she got the I call him the Haitian because my niece is mixed with Haitian. She got them Haitian eyes, and then she got the Puerto Rican hair mixed with the white hair. I mean, she just so beautiful. She just looks like a multi um uh with a whole bunch of different cultures in her. She just looks like a real mixed breed baby. Like she's just super beautiful. It's I think along every day for her, but her mommy is still a baby, you know. Okay. And watch she over here sleeping on my damn couch. No, she would have been on the bed. Yeah. And what makes me mad is, as a grandma, it's hard for me to say no. So it's like, no, you taking your baby home. You ain't staying. And then as soon as my granddaughter get at the door and she put them arms out and start crying, I'll be like, come on, you can stay. She about to be one. Yeah, it's so hard for me to tell her no. And then I know I can explain it. I got more patience and playing with her and ain't quick to put her to sleep every 5 minutes. So she be like, crying. Like, I don't want to go with my mom. All she gonna do is be on the phone or Instagram and be trying to put me to sleep, my mom. Yeah, I stay with you, mom. I can't wait till my baby turn 1 years old. She already trying to run and walk. I just ask the Lord to just give her mother the strength and just mold her into being a mommy. Because we don't get instructions on how to be a mom. But I will say she love her baby because that's the problem. Her mom going through. She ain't let nobody take the baby. I'll tell you that. She gonna fight and probably go crazy if anybody actually just tries to take the baby away from her. And see, that's the issue. You don't want to do what you're supposed to be doing, and you're gonna wind up opening that door. You know your mom already got stuff going on, and then you gotta watch all these family members that want the kids for the benefits. Dealing with that bull crap too. Income tax time. Everybody want an infant. Everybody want a newborn. All I say is just drop some food off to my house. I don't want your money. I don't want your welfare. None of that. But food is expensive. I don't think I'm wrong for asking for that. But I had issues for 8 months. And when I say my granddaughter will eat you out of a house or home, literally. But her mother didn't want to give her food stamps, and she did 11.80. It's crazy. It is what it is. But that's her heart. Whatever she doing with her, I guess she need it more than we do. But my granddaughter be here all the time. Boy, oh my, she called me and told me you needed son. Why would I need to call you and tell you? If you know the kids is here, I would have even felt okay if you would have just went and got a meat package and got it delivered here. But why would you think I should have to ask you? You get 11.80 in stamps. I ain't never heard of no shit like that. You should never not have no food. You should have went and bought a deep freezer a long time ago and stored a lot to me where you should never have no food. Cases and cases of water. I mean, if you gotta store this stuff, then do that. But 11.80 in food stamps? And that's another thing. I had to get my granddaughter to when she first started this homeschool a couple months, the baby's on the wick and all of that. That milk expensive as heck. She was having reflexes from the Similac, so we switched her milk. And the milk that we switched her to, WIC, doesn't give you as much milk as they would give you if it was the Good Start Similac. So I told my granddaughter she wanted to go down to welfare and open up her own case. Oh, her mom got mad at me about that. What is it? What is the difference and all of this? Then I'm like, so she can get her own. So I think they give her like $140 or something every 2 weeks. And my granddaughter's still buying uh bundles of weave and how you going Thelma pray for me, baby. I'm like, that's you and the baby's money, Maya. You gotta make it stretch. But you have to get everything the baby needs. Whatever's left, I'm sorry, baby, but that's all you got. How you think you about to go get your hair done, bundles and all? Like you can't do none of that with no 140. So you about to take damn near $100 to just focus on you getting a weave and left with $47 for a whole 2 weeks. Crazy. So she said that her mom is supposed to be was supposed to be giving her some of the food stamps, which is true because you got her and the baby on the on her whatever that thing is called her what do they call it, her profile or her whatever the thing is that they her household or whatever. So Maya can only get cash. And I forgot what they told me. I think the only way she can get her own stamps is I think I think they told me like if I write a letter saying that she has to provide her own food, but because she's still going back and forth to her mom's, I think my daughter-in-law has her under her profile thing or something. It's some way that she's able to still get stamps for her and the baby. But it's only if you get 1180, why would you not give Maya at least 300 of them? The two younger kids is with your mom now, and guess what? She was getting more than that. They cut they cut it down from the two younger ones that her mom got because now her mom gets I guess that amount for the two that she got. So I don't get how did she get 1180? It's her, my granddaughter, my great granddaughter, my grandson, and my other grandson. But the two younger ones is where my mom. So Tasha, Chad, Samaya, Taylor. So that's Samaya, Chad. So that's four kids and one adult. How the hell did she get 1180? And then you gotta think if her mom, if they didn't take the sum off for um Rashawn and Nala, she would be getting probably 1300 or probably 1400. Cause I think her mom get like three something for Nala and Rashawn, the younger ones. So you still making out good. But when it's around the 17th or the 18th of the month, ain't no food. Don't even ask me what the hell going on, cause guess what? I'm still trying to find out. I don't even ask no more. I don't listen. It is what it is. My granddaughter about to be 18 years old, and I'm about to be just like this. Straight up. I'm gonna make sure my great granddaughter is good. I'm gonna get her every other weekend, and that's it. I already came to the realization that she's gonna keep running back and forth to her mom. Her mom, they gonna argue every other week. Then they gonna be cool. Then I can't do it. Nope, can't do it. Maya gonna have to put her big girl drawers on, and she gonna have to do what she has to do. It's either you gonna go ahead and apply for uh housing. And what really hurt me is my daughter is about to start her training at the hospital doing dietary work, and Maya was supposed to be going to the same training, and she literally let her mom talk her out of getting a job at the hospital, and they have daycares where she could go to daycare on the hospital's grounds. So all you gotta do is go to work, take the baby to the daycare on the same grounds that you're working. When you get off, you go right down to the second floor, get the baby out of daycare, go home, and you have benefits, medical, um, vacation, unemployment, where you can get the hell off the welfare, give them that damn 140 back. Nope, my mom talked her out of it. Mom, she got to finish homeschool. She can still do homeschool and work. You got people that do it every day. She has to juggle it. That's why she got the laptop. When you go and break at work, you go in and finish doing your schoolwork. She does that. You don't tell her not to get a job that's not going to come back around. No job like that. But unless you want her to be like her, stay on welfare and all of that. My hands is tied. Nothing else I can do. I tried. That's why I made a decision last month. I'll just be there for my great granddaughter. That's it. I'll always be there for my granddaughter, but I'm not going to continue to be the enabler. I'm going to continue to handicap her, and I'm definitely not going to be the one to be in agreement of um, praising her to stay on welfare's cash and just, oh, she got to do homeschool or whatever. Both of y'all just sitting around. And I don't think that my stepdaughter is, no, hers is, wait, it might do be school though. Well, I don't know. I don't know, but I know welfare make them do, you either have to be in school or you have to be doing some type of um, job search or activity. So my daughter-in-law, she's doing some type of school, but I think it's for her to get her GED. So they both just sit home and doing that, but you still can get a job. You still can take the laptop with you to work and still complete your schoolwork. You have to make sacrifices for your baby. And that's all I keep telling my granddaughter. As a mother, you're going to see that you have to start making sacrifices. It's not about you no more. You want to make a better life for your baby. You don't want your baby to have to repeat the struggle or the steps that you had to go through. She didn't ask to be here. I'm learning that that was a hard thing for me, Zelma, but because I used to always say, why do you have to learn the hard way instead of just listening to somebody trying to give you the um the cheat sheet where you ain't gotta go through that. But everybody keep telling me the same thing. Oh no, you know how it go. You can talk till you blue in the face. People have to bump their own head. That's a part of life for people to grow and learn. And that's the scary part for me because I'm like, it's not like how when we was growing up, where you had to go through this and go through that to, um, learn and to grow. But now with these young kids, you say to them, "Oh, well, they gotta bump their head a few times." But some of these young kids are getting unalived before they can even learn a full lesson. Like the first time they get in a situation where you say, "Oh, well, they gotta learn," they be gone. That's why I'm like, it ain't the same where you can say, "Oh, well, you want to rip and run the streets, you gonna have to learn the hard way." It's like you don't want them to have to go do that because they might not make it back. That's why I thank the Lord every day for my beautiful, respectful, smart, uh, determined, they got integrity. Like my children is literally a blessing from the Lord, man. Oh, nobody understands. Like when I had my accident, it just really showed me how much they have grown and how mature they became. Just off of that situation, me not being able to walk, get up, could wash myself up by myself, and to see how I was able to see that if something happened to me, are they able to survive on their own? And I seen it. They are. And that's what made me say, thank you, Lord. I finally got it right. Because I think as parents, that's the major thing that um we want our children to be able to survive and know how to survive. Because if something happens to us, we don't want them to have to depend on nobody else. We don't want our children to be caught up in no peer pressure because you got individuals out here, and a lot of kids are followers. And peer pressure is a bug, especially for children that don't have a lot of confidence or weak and just let somebody tell them anything and talk them into anything. And but my dad used to always say to me, "Your job is to make sure that if you're not here no more, do they know how to function or do they know how to survive? Do they know how to make sure they take care of their responsibilities? Do they know how to?" And I can honestly say, yep, I see it. Because when my dad used to always say to me, I live this world, he used to say, I live this world without you. Now you gonna wind up living this world without me. And I was young when he used to tell me this, so I never understood it. But when my dad passed away, I'm like, wow, I get it. Now I'm living in this world without him. And at one point in time, he lived in this world without me. And then I had to learn to, was I gonna be able to survive and take on the teachers and the things that he was teaching me to one day that I was gonna be faced with him not here. So it's like a full cycle with my kids, and I'm just so proud of along continue guiding them and how respectful my children are. And if they see an elder and they need help, my kids is the first ones to run to their uh to help them, or they getting up to give them their seat. My kids have manners and truly blessed because the way these kids is nowadays, it's sad. It's sad. And watching all these kids just not even making it past the age of 13. Like the guy, hey Shars, the guy named Kevin Bando. I think he's like a famous YouTuber. I used to see him a lot. I think like 2 years ago. A lot of blogs used to talk about him. His son just got unalived, 15 years old. And what I can't understand is I thought that he was getting six figures from YouTube. Yeah, they're getting either six figures or more as being a content creator. I don't understand why his son was still staying in the hood. I don't know if that's where the mom was living or I don't know, but his dad definitely gets a lot of money. I think his name is Kev. Bando or Kev. He be wearing all that Gucci stuff, and I think he got over 1 million followers on social media. I know he's a social media influencer, but he built his before he first started getting six figures. He built his platform and his content and all that. And if I'm mistaken, I don't even think no, he probably in his late 30s or the middle 30s. I don't think he over 35. But yeah, they just unalived his son, 15 years old, and he put up a picture of him, I think, yesterday, and the son got, I guess that's the gang sign he was putting up. So I don't truly know the whole story, if he was living with his mom, or I don't understand why his dad didn't get him up out of the hood. He had plenty of money. But then you gotta think, maybe the dad did. Maybe the son said, I don't wanna um, be up under you. I wanna make my own money. I wanna be my own grown man. Maybe that was the reason why he still was in the hood. I don't know. But it's sad, 15 years old. He, like, the type of life they live. Like, 15? It's like these kids, the ages is getting younger and younger, as far as the ones that's passing away. Crazy. They can't even go to school and leave school like they're told from their parents. Go to school, get education. School's over. You can speak to a few of your friends or whatever, but come straight home. Bet you none of them kids at Northeast High School last month never thought leaving school, going home like they supposed to, is 32 shots get let off. Crazy. It's like, what do you say to your children? Um, you were wrong for walking home, or you were wrong for taking the same route you always do, or you're wrong for going to school. Like, what do you say to your kids that they don't even know they walking into a freaking three other young boys, one 17 and one 16, but literally just steal a car, go up to the school and shoot at all these innocent people. And the person you're shooting at, you don't hit this person one time. Sad, sad. And I told her that my girlfriend from Olney, that was her nephew that went to Imhotep. They just gave him a funeral last month. 17 years old. He wasn't in the streets. He wasn't in no gay life. He wasn't none of that. He was taking up acting classes and yeah, it's crazy. And I don't think people think about people's families and like you're not just hurting the victim, but you're hurting the family members of the victim. You're hurting the mothers and the fathers and the grandparents and the siblings. Like you leave all these other human beings scarred and crazy. I literally don't remember being my kid's age, 15 to 14, and burying friends or losing friends at the age of 13, 14, and 15 from gun violence. No, because back then we was able to walk home from schools and we had the old heads that used to um, watch our streets and when they weren't in the JBM and all of that, the number one rule was no children, no women. And if you had an issue with somebody, you went after that person. You didn't go shooting in the old lady down the street house or the working dad down the street car. No. Or a bullet just flying and the lady across the street with 4 kids and the bullet go through the window and mistakenly hit a little kid. No, that was not going around when I was that age. No, it's like more children are being unalive from bullets and gun fire. And, and then what really pissed me off is this. Oh my God, let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this. I wonder who's in this damn state. This really pissed me off. Now you see um, all these young kids in this gun violence, and this stupid behind. I don't know if he's a mayor or a governor, but this fool need to be fired. And then one of the most dangerous freaking cities. What is that? I'll pick that up. Let me see. Oh, you know what? It's probably my other device. I have to go get it. I remember the. I think it was it in St. Louis? They just passed a law that all you have to do is be 18 years old and you can get your hands on a gun. And you don't need a license and you don't need to take training classes, nothing. 18 years old. How you gonna pass a law that the kids can get a gun at 18? They don't need no permit, license, nothing. But 21 to drink? So you're saying they can get a gun first before they can drink? What is our world coming to? Like, how you gonna say they can get a gun before they can drink? They don't need a license for it. You got all these young guys adding extended clips, ladders, scratching off the serial numbers, weapons, automatic 10 years federal time. Then they add beam lights on it. Then they add the extended where they turning these damn guns into uh, non-stop, like they not running out of bullets. This is crazy, man. Oh man, uh, I think it's in Louisiana. And if any of y'all live out there, y'all need to cuss y'all. I think I don't know, the governor. Like, why would you pass a law that a 18-year-old can get a gun and they don't need a license nor a permit, so they can walk around with a concealed weapon? And we got all of this freaking gun violence. And you just come out here and pass a law for an 18-year-old to be able to conceal a weapon without a license. And if I'm mistaken, Louisiana crazy as hell. They got a heavy gun violence over there. It must be the other one. I know I downloaded it. Wait a minute, y'all. I think I got it on my other one. But some of y'all was here, I think, when I pulled it up. Matter of fact, it was the same day that Cardi B's girlfriend, or when the feds gave her a year in jail, in federal jail for um being the head person of that gang, the Star Bird gang, and for racketeering and um robberies, attempted earners. Um, they gave her a year. She claimed Cardi B paid over 350 grand for her attorney, and she didn't tell nobody. She got that time because Cardi B paid a lot of money for her lawyer. It was the same day of her case as when they dropped that law. I think it was Louisiana. Because I couldn't understand why people wasn't talking about that. Talking about everything else. I'm like, why is nobody talking about that I think it was Louisiana. I'm about to pull it up now. But I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? That they literally just passed a law for 18-year-olds to be able to carry a concealed weapon, and they don't have to get a license, a permit, nothing. So they can get a gun before they can smoke cigarettes and drink. Like, oh God. And I'm definitely not laughing because it's funny. You know how they say that you laugh to keep from crying? Yeah, that's what, because I think it's St. Louis. It's either St. Louis or Louisiana. In 1 second, I'm about to be at my other phone because I know I pulled it up. And St. Louis and Louisiana has a very high number of gun violence. So I'm thinking to myself, is they really trying to make our youth just get their own self out of here? Because you basically just told all of these 18-year-old young boys that's already running around with guns, they younger than 18, running around with them illegally, right? But you just told all of these 18-year-olds, hey, y'all can go purchase guns legally. You don't need a license, you don't need a permit, and you can carry it on you. So they don't need a they don't need training either. They don't need training either. So it's okay for them to just be playing with this gun that they don't know how to use. They don't gotta get training. And this is how a lot of young kids, uh my oldest daughter, her little brother, no, her oldest brother, he shot himself near his that thing down there, itches from it because him and his friend was playing and didn't know the safety was off. Yeah, and he pow himself a couple inches away from his ball players. And this was no, not last year, the year before that, because it was right after the pandemic. And he just was graduating from high school. Yeah, so you tell them they don't need training, they don't need a permit. But guess what? They don't even know how to hold the weapon. They don't know when it's on safety, when it's off. They don't know none of this. So then you also say, hey, you don't even have to have training. Why would you not want them to be able to have training so they can at least know how to hold the damn thing, know how to make sure the safety is, especially if they got siblings? Because my daughter's oldest brother, she could have been over there that day when he was up there playing around with it with his friend, and he could have popped out one of his little sisters. What makes it even worse, the same year, South Street, Center City, Philadelphia. Y'all probably seen this or heard about it on the news, or y'all can look it up. There's a big article about it because people was arrested and over 13 people were shot. But 2 years ago, all of these young kids went down South Street, and it's crazy because we used to do it when we were young, but we didn't go down there and shoot up stuff and all that. We used to go down South Street to shop, go to all the fancy uh, restaurants, and just like it was uh like a walking mall. Everything's on the strip. Something on this block, something on this block, something on this block. Instead of going to a mall, we used to call in Philadelphia our South Street like a walking mall strip. You got tattoo pop. I mean, everything you can name was on South Street. But 2 years ago, all of these teenagers called themselves going down South Street, and I guess one of the teenagers was beefing with another group of teenagers. So not only did they all go to hang out down South Street, but you talking about it's damn near over 400 or 500 teenagers within 5 blocks, all standing around on these um in the mix of these 5 blocks. Instead of for everybody spreading out or keep walking all the way down, no. They like the one person going to this pizza store, they all want to go to that one pizza store and they all hang out right there on that one strip instead of walking further down, spread out. And they got into some type of argument, and these teenagers not only went down South Street to meet up with their friends or whatever, whatever, but now they starting to take guns. Some of them stealing cars, driving at 16, 17. So they putting the guns in stolen vehicles, or the ones that are blessed to have cars at 17. And one of the guys got mad, start spraying South Street up. But like I said, you got over 500 kids within a 15-block radius, and each 4 to 5 blocks, they pack like sardines. So when he starts shooting, you can just imagine all of these kids is running, everybody running over each other. There's nowhere to completely run because it's to a point where they all let themselves basically pack up on a 5 block radius. So when bullets start flying, nobody has nowhere to run because everybody's mashed up together. The sad part about this was my daughter Alana's sister was one of the little girls that got shot. My daughter's sister was one of the little girls that got shot. At that time, she was 14, 2 years ago. Thank God the bullet went in and through, but she got shot in her foot and the engraved on the back of her leg. And get rushed to the hospital. She's laying out there. A lot of people don't even know she was shot. That's how many kids got shot that night. But luckily, it wasn't the bullet didn't go somewhere else. Luckily, it wasn't multiple bullets because other teenagers out there got shot 3 times. Some got shot 6. Some got shot 2. But Allah was on Fat Fat side, Lana's sister. But 14 years old, hanging down South Street with your friends, and a female, a little girl, getting shot. And ever since that, my kids already know. You going where? What? Please. Oh, y'all want the movies or something? Okay, well, wait, let me get my clothes together and everything, because we going to the movies. But them outing South Street, going to go hang out with their friends downtown, uh, you can't even trust that for your kids no more. Because you don't know who these other kids that might show up and who they with or who they with. Like you just don't know. And they so crazy that they will literally walk downtown and walk all down South Street with guns. And how they caught the guys that let the bullets off, because there was multiple guys that were shooting. It's so many cameras on South Street because there's so many businesses and stores. So they thought that them shooting all this stuff, all these people is running over each other, cars are smashing into each other, everybody's trying to get up out of here. They don't know where these bullets coming from. Then you got people laid out everywhere. This person shot, that person shot, this person shot. Then you still trying to get up out of here because you don't want to get shot. But then you see a person laying there bleeding, so you're trying to help them. And these crazy fools thought they was just going to go down 6 or 7 blocks down and nobody was going to notice them because it was so many people. But them cameras did. Them cameras even caught some of them actually in action while they were shooting. Crazy. And then they tried to go hide the guns and trash cans. The cameras caught that too. Caught that too. So you talking about over hundreds of individuals and you facing attempted murder of over hundreds of people. Their lives you put in danger. All because they wanna make it seem like they so bad and showing off for these what is this? Showing off for these females, and as soon as another teenager boy that they don't know like that, they feel like they tougher than them or whatever. Oh, they gotta pull the gun out. Oh, I'm sorry. Where her comment go? Good morning, sunshine. You said what happened April 7th? Uh, the only thing I know that's happening on April 7th is that night we trying to see if the moon's gonna sight, cause that might be the last um the date of the Eid as far as Ramadan goes. If that's what you were speaking of, I don't know where her comment went at. That's why I had to fix the whole moderator thing yesterday, and I hope everybody is able to um do the settings in the chat where y'all can um block out different words. Y'all can change the chat to subscribers only mode if it get too bad where people trolls is being disrespectful or people that's not usually over here. If the chat like you miss people comments and stuff, I think it's an option where you can slow it down or something like that. Um, there's a lot of little different things, but I did go into YouTube yesterday and refreshed it, and now YouTube wants you to send in your ID or um, I think 30 days worth of proof of your videos and content just for you to be able to pin comments in your on your community wall, just for you to be able to have the uh advanced features on YouTube. Like this is crazy. And I think it's managing moderator. So I hope all of y'all, Thelma, uh, Erica and May, Stephanie, Trina, Natasha. If I didn't call your name, it just didn't come to me yet. Cause there's a lot of y'all, unique, DV Wow, Lil Mac, Yellow Boy. There's a lot of y'all. I wasn't able to um do all that, so all I did was just go in there and tell YouTube to just put all of y'all under there and just let y'all go ahead and check for yourselves. Oh, here we go. Okay, I got it. Woo. There we go. Louisiana. Sounds right. Louisiana governor signs bill to allow individuals 18 years of age, 18 years of age and older, well, that's obvious, and older to carry a concealed weapon without a permit or without training. Shout out to this damn governor for signing a bill to allow 18-year-olds and older to carry a concealed weapon without no permit and don't even have to train to carry this concealed weapon. Even if you don't know how to hold it, you don't know how to use it, you don't even worry about it. You ain't even gotta get training. So you can get a weapon, a concealed gun, before you can smoke cigarettes and drink. Make it make sense. You putting guns in these kids' hands before they can drink. Shouldn't it be the other way around? And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know what's been going on in Louisiana recently, but Louisiana was one of them also that had a high um percentage of gun violence and lost a lot of young youth, teenagers from gun violence. Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't that where Boosie's from? Uh, uh, Boosie, NBA YoungBoy. I think NBA YoungBoy is just from the city, Baton Rouge, but he's from Louisiana. Wait, is that right? Is it Baton Rouge in Louisiana? I think it's just very small town. But Louisiana as a whole, far as AKA our people, the percentage for gun violence is very high. Now I don't know what it's been like recently because it's kind of crazy that this governor, I guess he felt this is going to solve the problems for the poverty for our people instead of for giving them jobs and giving them more benefits to be able to eat and put clothes on their back and because some percentage of them go out here and try to steal and um get guns to start robbing people. It's because some of them do be hungry. Some of them don't have mommy and daddy at home. Mommy out doing her, daddy in jail doing 20 to 40, or might be the other way around. That mommy and daddy ain't around, and mommy's mom is raising the children, or daddy's mom is raising children. Grandma. And grandma on a fixed income. She getting so scared she don't have it like that. So some of the percentage I can vouch to say that some of the decisions that they make because they be hungry, they don't have. And they're trying to survive in survival mode. So for the governor to say, I guess this is gonna fix poverty, I guess this is gonna fix the little black boys and girls, minor teenagers. This gonna fix their anger issues from not having parents, their anger issues from not getting attention and love because grandma's getting old and she saves a lot of her energy to give it to God every Sunday to go to pray for her grandkids, her great grandkids, and asking God to continue to give her strength to continue raising her grandkids. And most likely, she got her own medical issues on a fixed income. She can't chase the grandkids down the street and all that no more. So she's just hoping that when she tell them what time to be in the house, to make sure they come in at that time. Hopefully, they just have enough respect for her. They listen. But at the same time, You got some of them that don't like to see grandma struggling, can't afford this, can't afford that, and they make dumb decisions. Go out robbing people, go to the stores, rob the stores, or they'll get a pack from an old head and go out on the block and try to sell weed or whatever they get them to sell so they can get some money. Because I know some young children that young teenagers that literally don't smoke, don't drink, don't take pills, none of that. But they grew up in a very, very poor environment. And a lot of them usually be the oldest or the middle child or after the right below the oldest. So they be having like 4 or 5 younger siblings underneath them. And lots of times they wouldn't be able to eat because they making sure their younger siblings had at least enough to eat and they go hungry. Or they don't have multiple clothes or school uniforms. They don't have money to wash the clothes, so they go to school with dirty uniforms on, or they gotta share the different clothes with their other siblings. When I tell you, I have seen a lot of broken homes like this, and I always tried to give as much as I could: clothes, shoes, food. And remember, I told y'all that my daughter, I used to think that she was like putting stuff in the washing machine, like stuff that probably was still in her pockets or something, because it would always get this noise. And I used to always think the e- the exhauster thing in a dryer that she would be breaking it. But what it was is she used to stuff all her friends who were living in the projects and didn't have washing machine and dryers and had to share their uniforms with their younger siblings. So they would have to wear their uniforms like 4 or 5 days straight. And she would take all their clothes, pack it in her school book bag, and by the time she get home, she would hurry up and do like 2 or 3 loads before I would notice. And by the time I get home, she's almost half asleep. She tired, and she forget she done left the stuff in the dryer. And then that's how I used to find out, like, who clothes is this? And I couldn't even say that to her. Like, if that wasn't the most genuine thing ever, like, I'ma sneak and just stuff all this stuff in my mom washing machine and dry, even though I ain't supposed to stuff it all in here. But I gotta get my friends clothes washed. And she did that for like a good 2 months before I found out. And I just was like so um happy that she cared so much about her friends that she was willing to get in trouble. She was willing to get in trouble in her own home from stuffing the washing machine just to take the risk to get their clothes washed so they can have clean clothes in school like her. And I used to see the mothers jumping in and out of cars, 1, 2 in the morning, just getting home. And told you a lot of the kids used to be there at my house. And it used to be so sad because I used to tell them, make sure y'all call your moms and just let them know y'all here. So if I never told them to call, the moms never used to call them. This is real. This is real. And I'm pretty sure it's still probably going on to this day amongst a lot of people on YouTube. Probably know somebody that knows somebody like that, or know kids in your neighborhood, or in somebody you know neighborhood that got um uh friends, or your nieces or kids friends or they friends. It's still going on to this day. And I'm not saying that it's right for the little kids, teenagers to go out here and rob people and all that because of what they're going through. But A lot of them, that is why. And if you ain't eat in 3 or 4 days, um, your stomach is growling, probably getting headaches. Uh, your mind is not functioning correctly. So you about to make, stupid decisions all off of you hungry, hydrated. Um, you supposed to be just a kid, a teenager, enjoying life, going back and forth to school, no worries. Come home, do your little chores, and make sure you do your home. You're not supposed to be a kid and worried about where your next meal coming from. Worried about um um how you gonna get your uniforms or the clothes you gotta wear to school. How you gonna get them clean, or you can't wear one of your uniform shirts today because you gotta put it on your younger sibling, but the shirt is dirty and you don't have no washing powder to even wash it out in the sink. It's families that literally struggle like this, y'all. And I'm starting to think that some of these young kids that make these decisions of these quick decisions, like you could tell they didn't even sit back and think on it. They just move right out. Some of their decisions. I'm saying some. I'm not saying all the teenagers and all the young kids, but some of them making these decisions off of the um the trauma that they been enduring at home. And we know how it is when the mama say, "Oh, you better not go to school. Tell my business." So the teacher don't know what's going on. The counselor don't know, because if that's the case, the school would have been sending the 3-letter word people out fast as heck. And when I look at all them young guys, 17, and I think 3 was 18, they finally caught all of them that shot the school up at Northeast High School. They look like little teenage little boys, man. And when they caught them, they all had them big old guns on them. They got nothing else but had them damn guns on them. The same guns, the bullets that they filmed, the shell cases at the scene, when they went to go arrest them, they're sitting right with these the guns. So you know they already had proof. Oh, yep, this is the shooter. He even has the gun sit right here with him when we come and arrest him. Crazy. 18 years old, life is over. But you know what? Not really though, because they can get what is it, life 25 years, going in at 18. No, life ain't over. Not for no 18-year-olds. Take that back. They get a 25-year sentence. Yeah, they can come home around about 40, 45 years old and be rehabilitated. It's possible. Very possible. Because basically they snatch them up so young, 17, 18. And by the time they get in there, yeah, he still could come out and be rehabilitated. Going in there that young at 18. But the problem is all of them people, what was it? I think 9 or 10 people that were shot. And the 60-year-old, I think he's still fighting his life. He got shot over 9 times. So it ain't gonna just be one attempted uh earner. There's gonna be a lot of that charge. And then not only that, them guns they had on them, they done erased the serial numbers off of them. They done added extended clips. Oh my god. They done add beam lights on it. Automatically, that's automatic 10 years in the feds. So now they looking at federal time because they got these GUNs and they done added stuff all to it and took stuff off and added this to it. That's automatic 10 years just for that. I don't know, y'all. Like we gotta really just I guess continue praying and then it ain't even summertime. That's why I'm so shook. Like, dang. And then they so mad, so angry. And then this governor, I guess he feels like what's gonna solve the issues in Louisiana. Well let's let the 18-year-olds be able to go purchase GUNs from the store and they don't need a permit nor training. So they already got it easy that they're able to get their hands on these GUNs now illegally. They able to, and not no little 22. These kids is walking out here with extended clips and semi-automatics, and I forget the thing that they add now to the what is that thing they add on there? I know they got the ladders on there, but there's something else that they add on there too. And one of the guys, one of the young guys that they grabbed, he had like a beam type of thing on there, and he just added a silencer to it. I think his case, they're probably going to automatically transfer him to the feds. You had a silencer on. Oh, man. And the dad said he didn't even understand why the cops, the marshals, was running in his house, putting guns all through his face. And he said he didn't know what was going on. His son just came there, I think earlier that week or a few days before that. But he said he didn't know nothing about that his son was um had a warrant, that they was looking for him. He a working dad. So his son is at the age now, he's 17. So when he leave, he goes down to, mommy's, down his mom way. And when he running from something where I guess he can't do what he can't do what he want to do, that's when he goes to daddy. And I think when he wanna do what he wanna do and do what he can do without no consequences, that's when he's down at his mom's. So the dad was like, clueless. He was like shocked even when they came out with the gun. He looking at he couldn't believe his son was sitting up in his house with that and with the whole US Marshals and everybody looking for him and didn't tell his dad nothing. He just sit up in his dad's house chilling. Crazy. Insane, man. Just a working father who thinking his son just chilling and but that's why they say we gotta observe who our children's friends are, who they hanging around. Cause when they go to go hang around these people and all this, that's probably right there the bad influence. And then mommy, she probably got a job and she ain't got time to every 5 seconds. Asking a teenage 18-year-old, where you going? What you about to go do? Who you about to go be around? And we all know how some of these teenagers are. Oh, I ain't going nowhere. Mom, I'm just going right there. Mom, I'm gonna go hang with such and such. And the mom say, oh, you know I don't like him. He's bad for you. You need to stop hanging around that boy. We done heard that even in movies. And then later on, you find out that uh the little boy wound up getting in trouble with the same boy that the mom say, no, don't hang around him. He bad influence. He's not a good person to be hanging around. Don't even know the child done committed crimes with this person. Don't know the child is uh did a lot around probably this bad influence. And the mom probably at work. The dad said he the working father. And just imagine they all at work and don't know that their kids is out here doing these type of things. My grandma lived in Maryland and she told me I think it was after the bridge fell, but a 66 wait, is he 66? I think he's 66 or 70-year old man uh was shot up by 13 and 14-year-old females. Shot up at 65. I think he was 60. I think my grandma said he was 66 or 76. Oh, yeah. And unalived this old man. 13-year-old little girl, 14-year-old little girl. Got their hands on the pow pow and decided that I guess this man was always probably telling them don't probably be sitting on the step or uh probably was always um being an adult and probably telling every time he see them doing bad things or and being a elder. And a 13 or 14-year-old went and shot this man up in Maryland. 13 and 14-year-olds. And then social media don't help it no better. That don't help it. And then this governor doesn't help it either. Like you didn't have no other bill that you could have signed. Like it's so much gun violence going on, and you go contribute it. Like what? You know our country is jacked up anytime our 18-year-olds can go and purchase a concealed weapon before they can drink and smoke. We want to make sure that you're able to have a gun before you can smoke or drink. Ah, crazy. We're gonna let you get a wait a minute. How old in Louisiana you gotta be to drive? I think they do the permit thing at 16. I think. Yep, same thing. This ain't gonna help. They got a major gun violence. And Tim Norman. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where they from. Oh wait, it's in St. Louis. Wait a minute, is St. Louis and Louisiana they all at the same? I think. Let me see. Look like some of y'all probably fell asleep. Okay, St. Louis is a city in Missouri. I did not ask you that. I asked you about Louisiana. Alright. Why they just don't have? Oh my God, they talking about France. I ain't talking about that. I think Baton Rouge is in Louisiana though, where NBA YoungBoy from. Let me see. Okay, yeah, Baton Rouge is the capital of Louisiana. Located in the southeast Louisiana, it is the fifth largest city on the Mississippi River. Yeah, because they said it's major gun violence and a lot of uh, teenagers were unalived from Baton Rouge. They had a very, very high number of homicides. But I'm trying to think, was Boosie from? I think he is from Baton Rouge. I think they all from Louisiana. Master P, and they were very, very full of poverty. And then remember they had the what really messed Louisiana up was the hurricane. They still recovering from that. Oh, they said the South Side Bottom, Highland Uptown, Government Street, aka G Street. I heard about that G Street with an NBA YoungBoy songs. And Mayfair is the hood across the tracks. How far is New Orleans from Baton Rouge? is an hour and 34 minutes from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I heard they had a high amount of homicides, especially when NBA YoungBoy was. I don't know if y'all ever watched the documentary on that guy from the UK when he did the documentary on NBA YoungBoy and allegedly all of them murders that they allegedly claim he was attached to. Literally about 13, 13 young boys unalive. It was like they was having shootouts like every other day. They would just unalive somebody here, unalive somebody over there, unalive somebody. And it seemed to me, just like every other city that's full of our people and poverty, they never find who is the person who unalived the person. And it was like literally homicides blocks from each other. And one of the guys who got unalived, the rapper guy that used to be arguing back and forth with NBA YoungBoy on the internet. Back when NBA YoungBoy used to be arguing with everybody on the internet. What was it, a couple weeks ago? His mom went to go see her son. And do y'all know that somebody dug her son's try to dig his grave site up, broke broke all the the coffin thing, the ones where they put it inside the wall, broke up all the cement. I mean, then they put a video out of this other guy digging up his ops. He was literally on this person's grave and literally digging up, I guess, trying to get to the person's coffin. But this is somebody who he had beef with when they were alive. And he went live and other people was there with him laughing in the back. Oh, you shut out, bro. You shut out. No, dig this nigga up, man. Dig this nigga. Like, how far is this clout gonna go? You mean to tell me that these young boys are digging up the ops? And the other boy mom was like, y'all are so lucky that by the time I came, whoever did this, that y'all was gone. Because she said she would have definitely put a pow pow in the individual if she would have caught them destroying her son's uh where his where he's buried at. I don't even know how they was able to get the cement and all that out the wall. So they must have thought that once they got past um the cement and stuff, it was gonna really be they was gonna really be able to get to the coffin and stuff. Stupid. Them cemeteries in Louisiana is just like the ones in LA where they are buried like it look like it's like a wall. So the outside part, they got that so sealed. It's like a whole metal part. Once you break up all of that cement part, you're not getting in there. But just to see that somebody literally went and destroyed the whole front, took all of the cement part off the front door part of the of his burial. I mean, it's sad, man. Sad. Like a person is unalive, they gone. What are you getting out of messing with somebody's grave site? These young kids is shot out. And then the other guy who did the video, digging up his ops. Like, what? You that bold that you literally went to this person's grave and you standing over top of it and you literally digged up all of this freaking dirt live? Like, it's like they don't even have no remorse for their own life. Like, you're not worried that you might trigger the family or upset the loved ones for doing this. Like, what the? They're gone. How are they really eh, having you that upset that they're unalive? That you still going to mess with their grave site? They still got you that triggered and mad. You're living. They're not living no more. So I can only get out of it clout, chasing clout. Hey Erica, hey Larry, to dig up your ops when Miss Ali said on that video we listened to the other night that a lot of these kids are the crack babies from the grandmoms and the great grandmoms from the crack era in the 80s. And when she said we got to remember a lot of these um um kids and um other individuals are the grandkids and the great grandkids of the grandmoms and great grandmoms that were doing the crack in the 80s. And they're trying to function in this life. It's not their fault that they was born with crack in them or they um was immune to the crack. But when she said that, I thought about that. Like, wow, that is true. Any of the grandmoms and great grandmoms that was smoking then and were pregnant, and a lot of their seeds are out here and growing up in society now. It's crazy because some of the decisions that these kids be making, the only answer I got is, oh, they chasing clout, trying to be, go viral. But to dig up somebody's grave though, and this your op, what more you want out of them? They're dead. You still have your life, but they trigger you. They are triggering you still that bad that while they are dead, you want to go dig up their grave. Not thinking about the consequences, not thinking about the effect you gonna put on this family member when they come visit their family member and they see that somebody done dug up their grave, and then you take a video and throw it on Instagram. Like you just that tough. You ain't worried about nobody approaching you. You just go put this video up of somebody loved one burial being dug up by you. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost the words. And now y'all giving these kids that's digging up people's graves, y'all giving them guns at 18, and they can go purchase these guns. So I guess they said, shoot, we already know they're gonna get them illegally, so we might as well just let them get them legally. They ain't gotta get no permit, they gotta get no training. And it also makes me feel like, what do y'all want our youth to just be um uh no more, like just wipe themselves out by putting these guns in their hands now? So this way they can just go to war and just get rid of all of our youth. That's what it seemed like to me. Seemed like the funeral homes are more crowded with 13, 14, 15, 16 year olds than old age, 70 and 80. Their grandmoms and grandpops, they still here. But they just buried their grandson and great grandson and great granddaughters. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I forgot who was in the chat the other day that said this why they gonna continue to homeschool their kids. I don't blame you. It make you don't even want to come out your house. They have everything in your house. It make you want to find a way to dig a tunnel underground and just get up out of here. Seriously. So back to another subject. 'Cause we talk about these kids all day, all night. saved it for a rainy day. You making GoFundMe's, please help me sue P. Diddy. Where is the contract? That solves everything. If Diddy promised you this, that, and third, where's the contract? One don't exist. So people could easily say, "Oh, he promised me this. Oh, he said he was gonna give me this and that, this and the third." It's easy to say. Kind of, I'm kind of confused with what you asking, Larry. You said, "Hey, I got a question, Miss Lady. The testimonies in New York is what the government supposed to argue." You talking about the witnesses' testimonies? I don't know if you didn't hear the oral arguments in New York, but they already happened. The prosecutors argued the defense. And the prosecutors were replying to in New York oral arguments to Jennifer's briefing. Whatever she put in her briefing is what they orally argued in front of the appellate judges. The prosecutors brought up different testimonies in the New York trial to defend um, the reasons of saying that there were forced labor. I think the judge asked the prosecutor something about forced labor, and did they believe Jennifer's claims of the statute of limitations and the I think the RICO. So what the prosecutors were doing when they kept referring to Geronda uh, Faith testimony, they referred to Azriel's testimony because that was their response to them um, basically saying this was our proof about that this happened. So for example, like um J05 testified and said that Mr. Kelly was the only one who she was sleeping with during that time. So that is proof that Mr. Kelly had to be the only one to give her her. Then I think she referred to Joanna's testimony that Geronda C said that she knew Navarro, one of our employees, and the prosecutors, their defense basically was, well, Geronda knew who Mr. Kelly's employee was because she was at his house when he was sexually abusing her and having sex with her, and she see one of the employees in the house. But that was a lie. She knew who the employee was because that's the same guy that caught her climbing over the damn fence. So basically what she was doing was she kept referring to the testimonies because their testimonies was direct evidence to argue some of Jennifer's claims. So that's why you see she kept referring to the evidence that they provided, which was testimony. I forgot what she said about faith. Why she referred to take faith testimony? What was it? I think it was forced labor too. But if you want me to, I'll play it for you.
All right, Ms. Bonjean, you have reserved 3 minutes for rebuttal, so that gives you 7 minutes out of the gate.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
May it please the court, my name is Jennifer Bonjean and I represent Robert Kelly. Like every RICO indictment seemingly in history, the government charged the defendant with being the member of an enterprise that had a common purpose of carrying out an illegal or illicit activity.
Well, I guess I'm trying to understand, are you challenging the jury instruction, which didn't say that the RICO enterprise had to have an illegal purpose?
No, Your Honor, I'm not challenging the jury instruction, nor could the jury instruction be challenged. The jury instruction is entirely consistent with United States versus Boyle. In fact, it's almost word for word the same jury instruction. And in Boyle, as this court may recall, where the enterprise or the instruction was challenged, even though it wasn't set out with specificity what the structure of the enterprise should be, the Boyle court said that's fine. It doesn't have to be. The jury doesn't have to be instructed with that level of specificity. In this case,
but you're arguing, it seems to me, that absent an illegal purpose, there can be no RICO enterprise.
yes, because it would make nonsense of the statute. And
okay, but is it so? I guess A, what's the authority for that, and B, isn't that really a challenge to the jury instruction?
I don't believe it is. I think that.
Or did the district court tell the jury that they had to find an illegal purpose, so there could be no enterprise?
No, but the indictment did, and the indictment was incorporated.
No, the indictment listed a series of purposes.
Yes, series of purposes pled in the conjunctive, and the jury instruction, which had the indictment incorporated into it, pled that there were 4 different purposes, 2 of which were legal essentially, and 2 which were illegal.
All right, but I guess I'm asking a basic question to start, which is that if the government had just listed the legal purposes, your view is that that would not be sufficient for a RICO indictment?
No, in fact, district courts routinely dismiss complaints that do not demonstrate that the purpose of the common or the enterprise is illegal in nature. In fact, neither party has been able to find a single case where the purpose of the enterprise was entirely.
You're arguing that there was insufficient evidence here to prove an illegal purpose?
Correct, or illicit or fraudulent or some type of.
Wasn't there substantial evidence
No, Your Honor, I respectfully disagree. There was substantial evidence
Please, finish.
Yes, there was substantial evidence, perhaps, of defendant's wrongdoing in the context or using, quote unquote, the machinery of his organization, his entourage, those types of individuals. But there was very little evidence, almost certainly not sufficient to meet the government's burden of proof, that any of those individuals acted with this common purpose to, quote, recruit women for Mr. Kelly for illegal sexual activity or for the production of child pornography.
So I'd like to just make sure I understand. It sounds to me as though you're making a legal argument that a RICO enterprise has to have an illegal purpose, as well as that here an illegal purpose was charged, but there was insufficient evidence of it.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. That is precisely right.
And I want to understand, in light of Turquette, why we have to find an illegal purpose as well. I mean, there's language in Satinwood, and most of the cases that have been cited and discussed are in the context of a fraudulent purpose that may have some legitimate enterprise around it. But there's a room for confusion there. But Turquette seems to say quite directly that the term enterprise as used in RICO encompasses both legitimate and illegitimate enterprises. So maybe you could help me.
Yes, the issue isn't whether it was a legitimate organization, a legal entity versus a non-legal entity. Turquette held, and the question before Turquette was the exact opposite, whether a RICO enterprise could be exclusively criminal, not whether it could be exclusively legal. And our position is that this was an organization that the government failed to prove had any criminal purpose. The government takes the position that for a RICO enterprise to exist, it need not be rooted in criminality at all, which would fly in the face of Turquette, frankly. Turquette looked at Congress's intent.
Didn't the government prove that one of the purposes of this enterprise was to recruit girls so that Kelly could have illegal sexual activity with them?
They pled it, they did not prove it. What they did prove is that through the course of a period of time, there were perhaps efforts to pass along information, a phone number, to invite someone backstage. There was no evidence presented that any of those individuals did so believing or knowing that someone was underage, that you go to a big concert, there are 17, 18, 19-year-olds. Even the victims themselves said, well, nobody asked me for my age. When the age came about, perhaps Mr. Kelly may have known, and that's what I think some of the women testified to, but there was no evidence that anyone went out there saying, may I find out what your age is? Are you underage? Come back. We want to serve you up to Mr. Kelly. That just didn't happen. And in fact, there is extraordinary evidence that and members of the enterprise, again, these are some of the people, I guess, that testified, repeatedly made it clear that what happened behind closed doors was not something they understood. Yes, there were rules and things they did, these anodyne tasks that were perhaps a little unusual, but not that put them on notice that what was happening behind closed doors was illegal. And we are talking about matters that happen behind closed doors. The fact that a video recorder existed in a bedroom does not ipso facto make it evidence that there is child pornography.
You're saying these other individuals didn't know that these girls were underage?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think the evidence that was presented to the jury was deficient in that regard. There was so much excessive evidence, frankly, about Mr. Kelly's wrongdoing that it would be easy to be tempted to go down the path. Well, everybody must have known, but that is just not what was demonstrated at trial. And
the appearance of these girls would be evidence enough, wouldn't it?
These were not 12-year-olds. These were not 13-year-olds. There were some example. What was testified to is that some of them looked young. And having multiple teenagers myself, looking young does not mean you know someone is a minor. And the question becomes: did they have an obligation to ask? Did they have to do due diligence, do inquiry? When he said just go pick somebody up, again. Just using individuals, unwitting individuals, who perhaps even turned a blind eye or who didn't inquire further, does not a RICO enterprise exist. And I would leave with this point that, simply speaking, yesterday. I won't leave with it, but the law presumes in Turkett, which was an entirely criminal enterprise, they were speaking to the question of whether it could be a legal enterprise with a one man doing illegal acts in the context of the enterprise and using his employees. So Turkett does not, from where we stand, put this issue to rest. And what the government wants to do is simply read out of the statute organized crime. And at the end of the day, the statute...
They want to read out organized crime? What are you saying?
Yes, because the purpose of the statute, the RICO statute, is to address organized crime. Now,
it's not in the text, though, right? When you say read it out.
The definition of organized crime is not in the text of the statute. And in fact, courts have universally read organized crime very liberally, very broadly, and we're not quarreling with that. But you can't just have an organization that is not associated with any crime. Simply speaking, a RICO enterprise is a criminal organization. You can define it broadly, but it's not an organization simply with a criminal. And that is what the government is asking the court to find here. I believe my time has expired.
But I mean, you're not challenging the jury instruction, so you're agreeing that everything the district court told the jury they needed to find was correct, right?
Your Honor, the jury instructions were consistent with every jury instruction ever given in a RICO case, historically. And frankly, is consistent with what the United States Supreme Court held in Boyle. I don't know how...
So the jury wasn't asked to read out portions of the statute. The jury was correctly instructed. I guess I'm trying to figure out, you're saying that the evidence didn't support the elements that were correctly instructed to the jury.
What I am saying, Your Honor, is that the government had an obligation, and in fact, the jury was instructed that the government had to prove the theory of the enterprise. The theory of the enterprise included criminal conduct that was pled in the conjunctive. And if it had been just simply legal activity pled in that indictment, it would have been dismissed. Because routinely, again, and we've cited numerous cases, as does the government, district courts simply do not allow RICO prosecutions or RICO suits to move forward where you don't have an actual fraud or illegal or illicit activity that is the moving force or that is the common purpose. This would be outside the realm of, again, contrary to the purpose.
Back on the issue of whether the staff knew the age, sometimes the staff booked the travel arrangements for them, and therefore they had to have identification documents. Isn't that evidence that they knew they were underage?
I think if you look closely at the record, you will see that the government was very clever, frankly, of conflating these issues where I do not believe there was any evidence that a employee booked travel for someone who was in fact under the age of consent. So you have to remember that in Illinois, the age of consent is 17. It only becomes a federal crime if it's being videotaped. Now, do these people know what's happening in the bedroom? No. There is no evidence that
Was there evidence that the staff made sure that in his backpack he had his iPad and recording equipment? The evidence doesn't show that?
It shows that people picked up his luggage. People pick up my luggage, I pick up other people's luggage. Am I responsible for what's in that luggage? It just takes this to the point of absurdity. We can't say an enterprise exists because unwitting employees are engaging in normal tasks that they do, particularly for high-profile people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Bensing?
May it please the court, Assistant United States Attorney Kayla Bensing on behalf of the government. Good morning, Your Honors. I want to start with the defendant's challenge to his RICO conviction and what constitutes an enterprise. As the district court stated at the sentencing in this case, the defendant had a system in place that lured young people into his orbit and then he took over their lives. And so I want to start with this claim that was made in the reply brief and is made today before the court, that the enterprise members or that the defendant used his inner circle to simply carry out anodyne activities. Demetrius Smith, the defendant's...
What evidence is there in the record that the staff who arranged these things knew that they were underage?
Yes, Your Honor. So in September of 1994, I'll start there with the victim, Addie, who testified. She testified that she was 17. She was invited by Kelly's bouncers to come backstage at a concert in Miami. That was 3 days after Kelly's marriage to Aaliyah, in which he bribed a county official in order to hide or alleviate the consequences of illegal sexual activity. And obviously members of his enterprise arranged for that bribery, and so we're well aware of that illegal sexual activity. A few years later, in 1998, Stephanie, who was the victim named in Racketeering Act 2, was approached at a McDonald's by a member of Kelly's entourage. He asked how old she was. She told him that she was 16. Kelly's associate then gave her Kelly's phone number and said Kelly wanted her to call him. This is the same girl who at 17 was instructed by Kelly to give him oral sex in the backseat of a car and to be vocal and make noise while doing so that Kelly's driver and another individual who were present in the car could hear, which was a obviously deeply humiliating experience for her. Turning next to Nicholas Williams, he was one of the defendant's runners beginning in 2003. He answered phones and escorted Kelly's girlfriends inside of Kelly's studios, and he testified that Kelly's female guests were very young, keeping in mind that he was 19 at the time. He also testified that he could hear sexual activity and yelling between the defendant and his female guests. The jury is entitled to infer from that Kelly's employees helped maintain and facilitate Kelly's contact, including sexual contact, with these underage women. I want to also turn to Anthony Navarro's testimony. He was another one of the runners employed by Kelly. Navarro, who started working for Kelly in 2007, specifically identified that he would help answer phones for Kelly's girlfriends. That was his word, and there was some claim in the reply brief that these were just female guests, but he testified using the word girlfriends. And he identified them as looking very young, specifically mid-aged teenagers. And the jury heard testimony from Geronda about how she recognized Navarro as one of Kelly's runners who she interacted with when she was 16 years old being sexually abused by Kelly. In addition, there's Cheryl Mack. She was Kelly's assistant beginning in approximately 2013. She repeatedly saw Kelly with 17-year-old Jane. She had booked travel for Jane as early as April 2015, so she knew Jane's age. And a couple months later, in July of 2015, she testified that she observed Jane going to perform oral sex on Kelly. There's also Suzette Mayweather's testimony. She learned that Jane was 17 years old in the fall of 2015. She knew that Jane was one of Kelly's girlfriends. She observed her following all of the same rules as Kelly's other girlfriends. There's also testimony from Jane about Juice, who was another one of the defendant's girlfriends, but whom Jane testified acted as one of the defendant's assistants. Juice helped teach Jane rules, and Juice also knew Jane's age. I believe that's SA 527. So this is all evidence that the jury was entitled to infer that Kelly's inner circle knew what was going on, that he was recruiting and maintaining underage women for sexual activity.
Does the allegation that Kelly was also inducing these folks to come in violation of state law because he was infected, is there evidence that his entourage or the folks in the enterprise knew about Kelly's status as infected with herpes?
Yes, there is. There's testimony that his assistants picked up his Walgreens records. Anthony Navarro, who was one of the runners, testified that he would pick up Valtrex for Kelly. That's at A467 to 68. Diana Copeland accompanied Anna, who was one of the testifying victims at the trial, to the hospital for her STD test. And only Diana Copeland received the results of that test, not Anna. Juice, again, who Jane testified was like an assistant to Kelly, took
Was
Jane...
there evidence that the staff knew that Kelly wasn't disclosing his condition?
Well, a number of the women, in fact, got an STD. They were not just exposed to it, but they in fact got an STD.
That doesn't go to the consent question. I mean, if they consented, then it wouldn't be a violation of state law, right? If the girls had consented knowing that he had herpes, that would not violate state law?
Well, the state law, I believe the state law the violation is specifically exposing somebody to an STD. The jury was instructed that Rkelly did not also give consent in those, that they did not give consent in those circumstances. So that was part of the jury instructions.
My question is, was there evidence that the staff knew that there was lack of consent?
Well, I don't think that there was direct testimony on that, but I do think that a jury, drawing all inferences in the government's favor, was entitled to infer that from the evidence that did exist. And again, just to complete the record on that, about the testimony by Jane about Juice, that Juice took Jane to see a doctor in downtown Chicago, and she was prescribed medication for her herpes infection. I also, though, want to talk about another illegal sexual activity for which there is tons of enterprise evidence that that Kelly has not really raised on appeal at all, and that is forced labor. That the defendant obtained labor and services here, sex acts, through threats of serious harm or physical restraint against the victims. And the evidence is replete with examples of how tightly tied the forced labor charges and the predicate acts were to the enterprise.
So I'm a little concerned about applying the forced labor statute in this context, because it seems that you run the risk of really federalizing all kinds of state sexual assault and being able to turn it into federal offenses with much different consequences for the individuals. Can you address that concern?
Yes, of course. And I would just return the court to the plain language of 18 U.S.C. section 1589A, which prohibits whoever knowingly provides or obtains the labor or services of a person by any number of combination of the then subsections of that, which includes a scheme, plan, or pattern intended to cause the person to believe that if the person did not perform that labor or services, the person or person would suffer serious harm or physical restraint.
So wouldn't that apply to any kind of rape prosecution?
So I don't think the court has to reach the outer boundaries of what the statute may or may not apply to in this case, because there was a clear pattern that was far beyond something like a one-time rape. So for the specific victims,
in some cases we are talking about just one or two instances, right?
Well, I don't think so. So as to Geronda, what was charged was a specific instance as to the forced labor. But of course, there was an entirety of the pattern that led up to that specific incident where he choked her, he spit on her, and then he made her perform oral sex on him. What led up to that was a whole series of Kelly enforcing his rules, teaching her the rules, enforcing the rules, and then punishing her.
So you think we should focus on the actions that constituted the force as opposed to the labor that was forced?
Well, I think as to labor and service, under this court's definitions of those recently in Ranieri and recently in Marcus, sexual activity, I think, clearly falls within the definition of the expenditure of physical or mental effort, especially when fatiguing, difficult, or compulsory. The performance of work commanded or paid for by another. And of course, in the context of prostitution, I think that the court would have no issue finding that that constitutes forced labor. And here, this is no different. A sex act is a sex act.
What about a single one? What about a single rape?
Well, again, I don't think that the court has to reach the question of the sort of the outer boundaries of that question about a single rape. I guess what I would say is here, the conduct has met the elements of forced labor, and I think even the district court noted in its opinion that this was the kind of case where the defendant had a pattern in place of making these women feel isolated and ashamed, and he used the enterprise to make them feel like they were confined and that they had no way out. There was an expert who testified at trial as well about the defendant's use of these isolation.
Right, but the issue is the labor component, it seems to me. So what does the isolation have to do with labor? It might all be true, but where is their labor?
Well, I am just pointing the court to the other portion of Section 1589, addressing the court's question as to whether a single rape could constitute forced labor. I think here, sexual activity can constitute labor or services.
Right, we know that. Ranieri says that. What about the facts here? This is very different than Ranieri, right?
Well, I think in many ways it is similar. For example, the women were forced to give over collateral. Geronda, who was one of the victims of the forced labor charge, testified about how she had to write false letters. Faith also was forced to send a text message.
But is that the labor? So writing false letters is the labor?
No, the labor.
I mean, Ranieri, these folks were doing other things. They were doing things for free, right? That would be easily described as labor. Some of it sexual, some of it not.
Well, again, I think that people pay money for work on websites, people pay money for transcribing tapes and reviewing articles, and people pay money for sex. So I think under the definition that this court has given in Ranieri.
So I think that's where we're back again. And you keep saying we don't need to go to the outer boundary, but it seems to me your argument is any sex acts, including a rape, is forced labor.
I believe that sexual activity does count under this court's definition of labor and service. And again, I would just note that, of course, the other provisions of the forced labor statute would also have to be met. And that may be where there's a limiting principle in terms of whether a single rape would constitute forced labor, because the whole other part of the statute would have to be met, which includes, as relevant to this case, the use of the means of any scheme, plan, or pattern intended to cause the person to believe that if they didn't perform the labor and services, that person or another person would suffer serious harm or physical restraint. And so that brings me back, I think, to sort of my initial point, which is, and I see that I'm over my time, so I can continue to address sort of the record evidence.
Go ahead. There are a lot of issues here, so we may want to get to some others too.
Okay, so just very briefly, I think the record is replete with evidence that the enterprise was tightly tied to the facilitation of the forced labor predicate acts in this case. Members of the inner circle heard Kelly beating his girlfriends. They knew that Kelly was isolating his victims, and they helped him do it, including by enforcing his punishments, such as watching over them while they were confined to a bus for prolonged periods of time. There's testimony about that from the Mayweather sisters, from Diana Copeland, and employees were punished when they didn't comply. There were financial sanctions when they, for example, Copeland testified that she let Anna escape. And so I have numerous other examples of that, but if the court has questions about any of the other charges.
I'd like to ask about restitution.
Yes.
And about, it seemed to me that the record was weak, that Kelly infected Jane and the second young woman with herpes in states where the exposure was illegal. And I wondered if what the government's position is on that. If Kelly gave Jane herpes in the state where the exposure was legal, someplace other than New York or California, do you agree that she would not be entitled to restitution?
Well, I think the record here establishes that the first time that Jane had sex with Kelly, so her first exposure to the STD was when she was in California, and that was the basis for that particular racketeering act, and for the charge as well. And so that was the first time that she was exposed. She subsequently, later that summer, tested positive for having herpes. And so I think that the record has demonstrated that the crime was exposing her to herpes, and there's direct causation that she then later contracted herpes. And just to close the gap, she also testified that she had not been with any other sexual partners at that time. Yeah. So I think here we do have direct and proximate causation, and of course the district court had the facts to make that determination. And as to Stephanie. So she had filed, I believe she filed a letter with the district court indicating that the defendant had exposed her with herpes, and that was part of the sentencing record. But in addition, the government had referenced a report of investigation, an interview that she had given to HSI agents, that during the time that she was with Kelly, he never wore a condom.
Yeah, let me go back. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes.
Yes.
But wasn't by the time that Kelly met Jane, wasn't he on Valtrex by then?
So the testimony was that First of all, herpes can be transmitted even while you are taking Valtrex. That was part of the expert's testimony in this case. And there was also testimony that his use of Valtrex was very inconsistent. So there's testimony from his doctor that the doctor would prescribe 11 months of Valtrex, and then 4 months later he'd have to be prescribing more Valtrex. So I think there's testimony from which the district court could conclude that he was not taking Valtrex as it was prescribed, which simply increases even more the risk that he could transmit herpes to
And this is
Jane.
applying a preponderance standard.
Exactly, of course, Your Honor.
Okay. So if you could address Stephanie now.
Yes, thank you so much. So, in this report of investigation from HSI, which the government referenced in its letter seeking restitution for Stephanie, we represented that the only person that she was with was Kelly at that time, and that was in 1999. Of course, in 2000, Kelly did have a negative culture for herpes, but there was testimony from both his doctor and the expert witness in this case that it is actually quite frequent that you might get a negative culture even when you have herpes, because the timing of that test.
And there was evidence that she was having sexual relations with no one else?
Correct. That was part of the report of investigation that the district court had before it. There was a specific 3500 piece that was referenced.
Thank you.
Can I ask you, I guess, to come back to what I think is a legal point? Do you agree with Ms. Bonjean that there has to be an illegal purpose in order to establish an enterprise, which is really the first element of the RICO claim?
No, I think as we have made very clear in our brief, that is nowhere in the text of the statute, that is nowhere in the Supreme Court's precedent, and in fact there is precedent in this circuit that does not require any sort of illegal common purpose, and specifically the court's opinion in